Camera rolling, action.
Hi, hello, welcome to Refresh with Ria. To kickstart the launch of our first episode for this new year, I will be having someone special to me to talk with us about the perks and perils of the traditional media versus the new media. Folks, it is a great honor to introduce to you my birth giver, the green thumb of the family, and the strong, independent woman that she is. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom, Miss Carol Momblan. This has been your first exposure, if I'm not mistaken, since your last exposure was over a decade pa.
Well, I'm okay, but quite nervous, to be frank with.
Since nanibago pa kita eh, though it's a breath of fresh air for my mom. And I'm very much overwhelmed that you allowed me to interview you, and that's even more great kasi it's more heartwarming to be able to have my mom with me, to accompany me for the first episode. So, hi mom!
I don't have any choice, but I have to.
She has no any choice, but she has to. Well, thank you, mom. Thank you for letting us in, for gracing us with your presence. Now, mom, I have prepared here a series of questions in which you will have to answer. So wala kang kawala. You have to answer this. Mom, what were your equipments back in the day?
Well, in fact, during my time, fourth year, we are exposed to tri-media exposure, the radio, the newspaper, and the television.
So those were the three mainstream media na pinafocus ninyo. So ayun, you were limited to these kind of resources, whereas in my time, we have this so-called digital media in which we have this access to the internet, in which in the tip of our fingertips, we're able to export our films in a matter of seconds or minutes. Sa inyo, medyo mahirap-hirap kasi you have to wait for at least, let's just say, over 30 minutes to export. More than even hours that will take you. So I guess,
like for example, even in our script writing and even those little details, we have to undergo so hard.
A tedious process.
Yes. Example, the typewriter. When we have an error in our script, we have to undergo tedious process like
the classic typewriter.
Yes.
And I love, I don't know what's with me, but I really love looking at typewriters because it's bringing me back on our historical past, something like a nostalgic upbringing that makes me really drawn to it. So ayun, thank you mom for answering that. How about the thing about the media? How would you differentiate the information you've gathered before versus now?
It's quite different because today, in a split seconds, when you have the first-hand info, or not even, you can air by sharing that from the Facebook page, from the messenger, and in whatever communication you can avail of. But during our time, we have to go there. We have to expose ourselves there. We have to delve in there. We have to penetrate.
And that we're following a strict timeline in which we're going to air your news. For example, in this 4 p.m. show, this is where the news will be aired. And in midnight, we have this specific timeline in 11, let's say for example, 10:30 to 12. So I think it's very limited. It's very limited to a strict time zone. Whereas in our time, in any time, anywhere, you're free to broadcast your news. You are free to publish your news since we have the so-called privilege when it comes to the internet. So, how do you find technology now, Mom? Was it easier for you to navigate or?
It's funny.
Yeah.
I find it somewhat difficult because I cannot absorb. Like for example, if I tickle the
Your certain apps?
apps, sometimes I have to mapindot ko ang iba. So, ay ano dyan? I have to rush to your door, knocking at
Yeah.
your door.
She knocks to me any time of the day, and she makes kulit. She knocks to me. She asking me, "B, help me. What's with this?" Yun pala, she's clicking some ads because she thought, or sometimes spams about winning a certain device or a certain amount of money, and I told her, "No, Mom, that's scam, not spam, but scam. That's a scam, some sort of a scam." So I have to at least educate her about these messages, and that's kind of irritate me sometimes because sometimes she would call me not just once but 50 times, and that's too much for me to handle, and that's where our quarrel starts to come. And yeah, sometimes I feel the need to be more patient with her because it's different during your time and mine, so I guess I have to adjust to it na lang. So yeah, it's fake news. How about fake news, Mom? Is fake news or misinformation as prevalent in your time as it is today?
I cannot say no, but perhaps we cannot just hear and publish or broadcast such thing, but we have to have ourselves exposed to it in real time, by being in there.
Mm-hmm. In the moment.
And sourcing the audacity or the authenticity of certain issue.
I guess fake news is much lesser than today because fake news, with the existence of internet trolls, cyberbullying, I guess it's kind of hard for us to determine which is right from which is wrong, not unless you check the URL, you've learned how to navigate the waters of misinformation, and that is something that we have to sort out. And it's kind of hard for us, Mom. It's kind of hard even for you
I'm
to
hearing
distinguish.
URL, but I don't know what is URL.
URL is this kind of source in which you will have to know if this source is legitimate or not.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she learned a new word, a term rather.
I often see that, but I don't understand that.
But now you do.
Okay.
So, do you fear for my safety once I graduate and pursue this career path?
May kunting fear because of your brutal frankness, and sometimes I could not stop you from doing it.
Maybe because of the courage that I justify, and there's nothing my parents cannot do to stop me from doing it, because if I want something, I will make my way to earn it. And I totally understand where my mom is coming from, for she fears for my safety, but I believe she raised a good daughter in me. There's a woman behind me who's guiding me, so that's my mom. How about Mom? Would you recommend pursuing this kind of course to the aspiring media practitioners, and how relevant is this course?
With this present situation, visiting our governance, I do believe that the young should continue their passion in giving credible information, not fake news, but information that is very relevant and not intimidating, but something that can inform people ahead.
Yes, and I'd like to take into account that I believe it's time for our journalists to step up and not delve into the power that the oppressors has instilled in us, and we don't have to be inferior about it, and we have to speak our truth, because sometimes the media has their own power to give us the information that we deserve, and that it should not hinder us. Sometimes with this, we have found the beauty of journalists telling us stories about hope, about rainbows, about giving us strength amidst diversity. I've also believed na, Mom, with what's happening about press freedom, with Maria Ressa being awarded as the Nobel Prize, I think it's already a great honor that she has given us. She has given this country, since Nobel Prize is one of the most prestigious awards to be given in the field of journalism. Also, I'd like to talk about the cases about the killings of our journalists, and I think protection for our journalists is of paramount importance. And the closing of one of the biggest media corporations in the country, it's very devastating to know, Mom. Knowing that the media is important in times of this, with what's happening, the emergency health crisis. They are needed. The information that they have to deliver is needed about the typhoon. I guess, I hope they will still consider the media reclaiming back its power. So on an end note, Mom, what is your message to our audience?
We have to be brave, stand for truth, and the communication should bring glory, not devastation. So if we are brave enough to give correct or proper information to the citizenry, go on, why not? No one will stop you.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for that wonderful message. I hope you learned something from my mom and from me too.
Till our next episode, this has been Ria Momblan. See you in the next one.